All right, well, here we are. Let's get after the next one here. Maybe something that some of you guys know, maybe something some of you don't. We're going to talk about control arms today on lifted vehicles. Specifically, when you lift a vehicle, you got to change your control arms, uppers to be specific, because the angle at how the ball joint comes into the knuckle, well, here, I'll show you. There you go. That is a stock upper control arm. Granted, the vehicle's up in the air, but you can see that it's hitting the coil spring, the crazy angle of that, and it's not a ton better with it sitting on the ground. So what you got to do is buy these control arms. These are straight from Amazon, and these are for a 2 to 4 inch lift, which we have a 6-inch lift, so they're not going to be exactly right, but you can see just by the way that it is, the angle of that ball joint on this one versus this one. That ball joint's sticking straight out of a straight arm. This one is completely angled, thus giving you more and or better geometry in your front end so that you can do an alignment. Yeah, and not destroy all your tires. Well, these control arms were shot anyway, and rightfully so, dealing with this kind of a lift. We're going to go ahead and rectify this by putting these other ones in. All right, also, when you're doing this, take note and mark your camber bolts, also known as your control arm bolts. Mark them with some paint, something where they're at. You got a front one. Well, that was the rear, sorry. Here's the front. Oh. Okay, that's marked. Your inners inside there also have marks on them. That one's all the way at the bottom, the little pin. This one's halfway. I don't know where it's supposed to be. I mean, you're really supposed to take these and get an alignment done when you're done with this. But we're gonna mark, I mean, this thing actually does drive pretty good. That's a terrible mark. Let's try again up here. And when you accidentally push the pin, we'll go ahead and wipe that off. This truck was just aligned, I don't know, a year ago, 2 years ago. So it does drive really nice, but I'm probably going to take it and get it aligned. We'll go with the black mark on this one. There we go. That would be best practice, as they say, to have an alignment done. Come over here. See, this one's already got a white mark on it. You guys probably can't see very well when I shine that light directly on stuff. There, you can see the white line on that one. This one's got a white line on it. That one doesn't have a mark. This one doesn't have a mark. I'm guessing this needs an alignment. Although there's not much for tire wear, surprisingly. We'll mark this one right across here. And we'll mark this one. Something like that. This mark is not very accurate. So we'll redo him. That one's already got a nice yellow mark on it. Okay. Now we got to take off the ABS sensor bracket. We'll probably unbolt our brake line bracket here, get it out of the way, take our nut off the bottom down here, and give this a good whack to bust that loose, and then we'll take the others off. Now, same with the lower control arm. You don't want to tighten everything fully tight until you have the vehicle sitting on the ground under its own weight. Then you tighten the stuff up. So anyways, I'm gonna grab some sockets here and we'll get rid of this stuff. All right, this was a 10, this is a 13 up here for the brake line. We'll sneak over to the other side here. Oh, it's a tight squeeze, but we can make her. Jam this guy in here. That wasn't even tight. That's good. Move it out of the way. Sometimes I'll stick my bolt back in where it came out of, just for easy math. Put that guy down. Grab your 10. It's a 10. Keep them clean though. Throw him back in. All right, and we will go over to the driver's side and start on that. And then that way, when I get to the passenger side, you guys have already known, the process. All right, our nut here's got a cotter pin in it. And you can do these however you want. You can break them off. You can try to pull them out. You can give them some twists around. You can cut one end off, and that way you're not dealing with this crap here. I normally like to fight them forever, something like that. We'll go ahead and grab some juice, hose that down, and go to bust that nut off. All right, this is an 18 millimeter deep well. We'll go ahead and see how tight that baby is. It came off. Boy, can't beat that. I'm even taking it off with my fingers. That's incredible. I wonder if these have been replaced at one point and they just didn't put control arms for lift kit on it. I'm not really sure. But again, they say 300,000 miles are on this thing. I just don't know if that's correct or not. I also believe I'm going to replace this lower control arm on this side too. That way all the control arms are done and brand new. All right, here's the fun part. Do not get this in the way of your hammer and knuckle. Just like that. That's how you loosen those babies. Give her a good whack. All right, these are 21 mil. Try to get these. Oh, baby. Tight. Spray a little soak them on these guys here. Now the fun part will be getting that bolt to move. Might need a couple love taps. Not by this guy though. Might be slightly too aggressive. Let's get this one out. There we go. She popped right out of there. Okay. Try to keep these oriented the way that they need to be. And hopefully we can get that out of there. Don't tell me I gotta take that strut out of the way. That would be silly, because I'm guessing you could slide them through the coil spring if you know, this whole assembly was up here where it should be, instead of having this 6-inch block in there. Well, let me think about this a minute. All right, well, we've got everybody loose and just trying to figure out if I can shift these things far enough to squeeze that bolt out past this big rubber insulator up here. I guess that's steel. This is the rubber down here. But I think if I can weasel some things around, I might be able to sneak that guy out of there. You know, because if you pull the bolt out of this end here, it changes the angle that it comes out back there. So, you know, if we can wiggle her around enough, we might be able to sneak her out. So I'm going to monkey around with this for a bit, and I'll show you, you know, what I'm talking about and how I did it once I figure it out myself. All right, so what I've done here is taken the top hats off of this front strut and hoping I can pry it down far enough to get clearance on the bolts. We'll see. Half the problem is these little camber deals here. They do come off the bolt, but you gotta have everything positioned correctly and get your bolt turned the right direction. How about that? I feel like that's really close, except for we're hitting that camber deal, the eccentric, if you will. How about there? There. All right, there's that one. Now I'm hoping that we kept catching on this guy. I'm hoping that we can shift all this now and weasel this other bolt out. This one might take a little bit more convincing. You can kind of see in here it's cockeyed coming out, so it's hooked on threads on the hole that it's coming out of, and she's just a little bit crooked. Tight squeeze against that. I'm gonna fool around and see if I can get that baby out of there. All right, well, here's the verdict. Snapped both these bolts off, unbolting the strut from the lower control arm, which is fine. I have new ones. Had to loosen this spacer here, unbolt this from that, and then I could move everything far enough to pull that bolt out. Otherwise, I couldn't get it out. Those bushings don't look too bad. All right, so let's show you a side-by-side comparison here. Okay, we'll go this way. All right, that's what one looks like. You can kind of see the angle of that versus that one. You can see a very clear difference. Okay, let's go ahead and put our new one in. Also, I didn't mention these are tubular style control arms. I don't know if that matters to any of you. Hey, look at that. And just slip right in there. Go ahead and take bolt number 1 here. If I can get it kind of back there. Okay. Oh boy. More work than I wanted it to be. But such is life. Okay, we'll grab this one. Strut's actually even more in the way now than it was. That's good. There we go. Turn that. Get it in its slot. Get our outer one put on. Here we go. Just like so. Obviously you can see right there, the other control arm was just wailing on the spring here. Oh boy, probably pulled my inner axle joint apart, so we'll have to get that jammed back together. Lots of fun here, folks. Lots of fun. All right, we got that sitting back down in there. This stuff kind of lined back up. Took about 30 seconds to do that. We'll loosely put our little top hats on here. Just so they're in there, and then go ahead and get our nuts threaded back on. These loosely. Well, at least now we know for the other side kind of what we're up against. Now I'll probably put my tranny jack underneath this to hold it up and kind of bring everything up where it needs to be to snug stuff in. Should check these lower control arms bushings. This one looks kind of ripped. Can you guys hear that wind just howling away out there? Yeah, I think the bushings are shot in this. Yep, that'll be next on the chopping block, which is fine. At least these will come apart easy. Okay. So these upper control arms do come with these sleeves, and I believe that's for different size knuckle. All right, what were we gonna do? Oh yeah, finish putting this together. Oh boy. That took entirely too long, folks. Entirely too long. I think I'm gonna reuse our castle nut so I can put a cotter pin in it. Big old yellow jacket just come in here humming around. Big old fat feller. We're gonna tighten these guys up here. It's not tighten necessarily, snug. Rephrase that. We'll snug these guys. Whew. So I'm gonna snug that guy. We'll get this stuff all tightened. I did tighten these top ones quick. We'll get these other ones tightened back down. And then we gotta come up with bolts for the bottom of that. And button the rest of this little stuff up, and this side should be complete. We'll move to the other side. Well, as you can see, that angle on that ball joint is substantially better than what we had with that one. Even though this is only a 2 to 4 lift, or sorry, 2 to 4 inch lift upper control arm, it is still way better than what we had. And I'm gonna call that whew, I'm gonna call that a win. And they look nice. I mean, not bad for 130 bucks. Way to go, Amazon. Killed it on that one. So I'm just gonna tighten this down, get our brake fluid or brake hose bracket back up here. This side's done. And then all I gotta do is do the other side. So I will see you guys for the test drive. All right, well, there it is. Both upper control arms are done. That angle is just so much better. Now it's time to get it the heck out of here, do a test drive. Man, I like these lights. They're nice. I can't wait to get this side done. All right, well, here we are on the test drive, and I can already tell you that it drives a lot different than it did. Obviously needs an alignment still, but took care of some more clunking in the front end, and also it just feels more stable, you know, having those control arms for a lift kit instead of just the stock control arms. So I'm gonna pull in here and give this thing a bath and let you guys go. Appreciate everybody watching. Like, share, subscribe, do all the stuff that you normally do, and we shall see you in the next one.